all you cattle ranchers. I don't know what you're saying, Megan. I think that's a perfectly fine start to our show.
That was so triggering to me. I almost keeled over.
How's it going, partner? You've caught me on the road to Thunder Junction, and how are you, Tips Hat?
Look, I understand that you think that you're doing a comedy accent, but I have to tell you that in my lifetime, I have known people with that accent.
Really?
Yes.
What? Where? Like Texas? This is a Texas accent I'm doing?
Specifically, it is a West Texas accent.
Wow. Well, I dare say we're about to find some trouble up in them there hills.
No. Hey, everyone
has come all the way to Minnesota just to escape this accent, and now it infiltrates her ears.
I specifically left Texas to escape that accent.
You know what? As soon as they put out a Minnesota set, I'll do a Minnesota accent the whole show.
Wizards of the Coast, I dare you.
Minnesota theme set. There is an animated hot dish that goes around, a tater tot hot dish that roams around. Wouldn't it be so cute?
Hot dish.
Living Hot Dish is the name of the card.
Yeah. That would be very cute. Hey, you're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you're traumatized by deep Southern accents or not, we're here for you.
The name of the show is Good Luck High Five, Little Lady, and I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's episode, we are talking all about our very first look at Outlaws of Thunder Junction. You guessed it.
Yes. How on earth could they have guessed it, Maria?
I know I was pretty subtle about it, so I thought I should put it out there in the open for everybody who couldn't pick it up.
Yeah,
based on my clues, my breadcrumbs.
Yeah, thank you so much for being just upfront and telling us because it was the hints were just not 100% there for some.
That's okay. Even if it all went over your head, everybody. Yeah. Outlaws of Thunder Junction is the name of the game. We know about all the new cards in this, not all of them, but a lot of the new cards in the set, all of the new mechanics of the set, the different kinds of art styles we're going to see in the packs, a bit about the story, and we're going to let you in on all of that information coming up in this next hour.
That's right. But before we do that, we have some people to thank, and first and foremost amongst them are you, the listeners, and especially the patrons of this show.
You can become a patron by going to patreon.com/GLHF Magic for as little as $2. You throw it in our tip jar, or if you want to shout out and a bunch more benefits, they'll start at $5 and more.
Thank you so much to new or increasing patrons, Kimberly, Ben, and Maria. Please stop saying everybody.
What?
First name, Maria, please stop. Last name, saying everybody.
Oh, wow. What a name. What an incredible... Do I say everybody a lot?
I guess so.
You know what? If I do, and you're calling me out on it, I take the note.
Wow.
Somebody once told me, if you have a verbal tickle and you don't realize it, the key is you don't realize it.
Yes.
Somebody once told me there was something that I would say in coverage, which was our very own, generally when we were throwing to Brian David Marshall or Tim Willoughby or somebody on the floor. And they're like, if you say our very own another time, I'm going to just take your mouth and slap it right off your face. Nobody said that, but that was, the implication.
That was the vibe.
That was the vibe. And since then, I don't think I've ever said it ever again on coverage. And if I do, you'll probably see me do a little self-shock. I've shocked myself with a collar in the booth, so I don't say it. Anyway, yeah. Gosh, well, thanks for that. And also, do I? I probably do.
Yeah, I don't. I also don't notice your verbal tics, but I also hear them all the time. Yeah. So to me, they're all
you can fly under the radar, much like my Outlaws of Thunder Junction introduction to the show. Very, very very nuanced.
I thought you were going to say much like my in-laws.
Right under the radar.
I don't know what that even means. What that would even mean. Anyways, of course, you get a pun.
Yes.
So, Kimberly.
That's a multi-syllabic name. Those ones are tough. Oh, I've got one.
Okay, you do? Go for it.
Yes, Kimberly, I can barely hold it together.
That is an amazing pun. That is a top-notch
I can barely hold it together that you became a patron.
Oh my goodness.
Yay, I'm just overjoyed.
That's amazing.
All right, who's next?
Ben, we've been waiting for you to become a patron, and we're real glad you did.
We've just been waiting this whole time.
Yes.
Just looking at our watches where the heck is Ben? Gosh, show up.
Yep.
Oh, this next one, though.
Thank you so much. And Maria, please stop saying everybody has been waiting for you to become a patron.
We all have. We've been waiting. We've been waiting.
Yes.
Everybody
has been
waiting. Thank you so much, all of you wonderful, fine folks joining our family.
Maria, please stop saying everybody is thankful that you've pointed out this vocal tick.
Yeah, some listeners are like, oh, somebody told her finally. Good grief. Yes, you too can have these wonderful puns, or you can give me notes through your name on Patreon. Because you can set it to be whatever you want. And you get this privilege at $5 a month or more.
Yes.
Or if you increase your pledge.
If you only tip jar and you try and give a note, we
will not take it.
Lean into whatever it is you told us not to do.
We'll do the opposite.
Which I know seems like maybe you should have just not contributed any money at all at that point.
We're driving people away. We're driving them away. Uh-oh. We've got some great bennies, though. We give you longer episodes for all of our producers, for our influencers. You get to influence our Commander Arcade episodes, of which there is a new one out this week, was posted on Monday.
Ooh, it's very exciting.
And pretty soon we're going to have more benefits for you all. We'll tell you about them next time.
Ooh.
For influencers. But if you want to get in, you can start now. You're not going to lose out by starting a little early.
No.
And you get early access to all of our episodes, commercial-free versions of all of our episodes as well, which is very cool. All of that for just a couple of bucks a month over at patreon.com/GLHF Magic.
Nice.
This Commander Arcade that just came out, I hope you check it out, everyone. We play some cool decks with Murders at Karlov Manor.
Yeah.
Commanders.
Maria,
Karlov Manders.
Karlov Manders.
Yep. Karlov Manders. Yeah.
Anyways,
I play
Maria
Rakdos.
plays Rakdos. I play Vannifar. And our friends bring some of their favorite decks, which are quite cool.
Yes, they're very cool decks. So check it out. The end of the game, you will never see it coming.
The end of the game is absolutely wild. And I say that obviously having seen a lot of games of Magic in my life. And let me tell you, it's a really good one.
Yes, it's super
an all-timer.
fun. You should check it out if you didn't. You can find it at youtube.com/@GLHF Commander. Go and sub over there. We're trying to still raise our numbers. People have been watching the show in the background like real champs for us.
Yes.
Thank you for your service to the Good Luck High Five fam. But yeah, we're super excited. We're putting out 2 episodes a month. They're coming out the 2nd and 4th Mondays of the month right now. That's our current release schedule. That might change in the future, but that's where it's at right now. Mm-hmm. And we've stretched to be able to do 2 of those for you every month. And your direct donation makes that possible, everybody. So thank you.
Thank you as well to Card Kingdom, cardkingdom.com/GLHF, the place to go for all of your Magic needs. I recently bought a box of Streets of New Capenna from them.
Ooh.
And you're like, why? And I'm like, you'll find out later.
You'll find out, dear listener.
Yes, you will.
You can pre-order Outlaws of Thunder Junction right now over there if you want to make sure to lock it in before you forget, which is something that I often do. Do you ever think a thought? You're like, I need to do that. And then you forget it. And then you remember it, 2 days later, forget it. Remember it 5 days later, forget it.
Every day of my life.
Yeah. So this is a service for people like us.
Truly every day of my life.
Since we've been playing more Commander, I've been like, have my little eyes on some cool Commander staples that I think I would like to add to my collection.
Oh, yeah.
And I found a command tower, which was from a Commander Masters set. I told you it was Lord of the Rings. It's actually Commander Masters. It has a rainbow in the background. And then I was like,
very lovely.
You put this in every deck.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool to have like a cool version of this? So I went looking. And if you're like somebody like me who likes to do that, Card Kingdom is a great place to go and find new and different printings of cards that you might want to bling out your decks with.
Oh, I like blinging out my deck.
Absolutely.
It's a good time.
So check them out, everybody. Highly recommend them. cardkingdom.com/GLHF.
All right, Maria.
Well, hey there, little missy. I didn't see you on the other side of the road. Are you looking for information on Outlaw the Thunder Junction? Because I got you covered. Hold on. I'm going to wait for this tumbleweed to roll past.
Just hit me with your carriage.
Oh, I don't have a carriage. I'm just walking here.
Stagecoach?
I'm my own 2 feet. I'm sitting on a stump.
Run me over with your horse.
Oh, I don't got no horse, ma'am. I'm just a poor gold panner. I've been panning for gold up in the hills.
In the desert?
In the desert. It's not working out for me because
I don't think it will.
There's no water to pan.
Just need to tell you something. I don't think it's going to work out for you.
I'm sifting through sand and finding more sand. I've just found 5 little rocks today. None of them worth nothing.
What can I do to make this interaction stop?
You can't. I live inside your head.
Someone help me.
Everybody. Oh my God, I said it. There it was. I didn't even think about it, but there it was. Outlaws of Thunder Junction, pre-releasing the 12th through the 18th of next month, which is April, in case you need a reminder.
Yes.
Arena comes out on the 16th, and the release date is officially the 19th.
Yeah, but I am very excited to head out to the pre-release and play this.
Oh, absolutely.
As you know, I worked on some of this set.
Yes.
Doing names and flavor texts. And let me tell you, it feels to me like this set has been out. It's not even out yet, but to me it feels like it has been out for a very long time because I've been thinking about it for so long. But it is still so cool to see these cards start to be real life.
Have you recognized any that you've worked on yet that you could point to?
My memory is a sieve.
much
like my
for panning gold. I'm used to for panning gold in the sands of Thunder Junction.
Except much like a man panning for gold in the desert, I rarely come up with anything because it all just goes straight through.
That's fair. Well, everybody, we're going to tell you what they've talked about so far about Outlaws of Thunder Junction. So what we know is now, thanks to all of the nonsense that we just concluded recently in this magic story, now anybody can planeswalk through the Omen paths.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool.
They're traveling cross-plane by going through these little paths that do have specific connections, right?
Like a highway system?
Yes, you can't just go anywhere. So it's not quite the same as planeswalking because it has limitations.
Sure. So if I'm going to get to Theros, I need to go through Thunder Junction first.
Exactly. It's more like an airport than a highway.
There's connecting flights
on
the way.
Exactly.
Wow, they're going to have to build a lot more gas stations on these planets or whatever. Snack stations, I suppose.
Snack stations.
What do you power a car with? Ether?
Well, we know that on Thunder Junction, they power stuff with thunder.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's very Back to the Future.
It is very Back to the Future.
How many gigawatts was it? How many gigawatts?
Just only type that.
Oh, and also they're like, it's gigawatts. Why do they say it wrong in that movie? Yeah, that's very true. How much power is 1 gigawatt? Well, that's not what I asked, but whatever.
How much power is it to travel back to the future?
Let's find out. I just need to know this. This is 1.21 gigawatts. Thank you.
Oh, that's right.
1.21 gigawatts. That's how much it takes to power a train in Thunder Junction.
Yeah.
That's canon now.
So Thunder Junction, people are arriving on this plane from all over. Notably, Oko is arriving.
Hello, Oko. You're back.
For some kind of mysterious and devious purpose.
Oko is assembling a band of thieves and outlaws from across the multiverse for a heist like no other. He wants to open a vault.
What kind of vault? We don't know.
A
vault.
A super cool vault.
A cool vault.
I believe.
Probably with some cool stuff in it.
Let's talk about the members of Oko's gang that we've met.
Yes.
My favorite member.
Of course. It's Tiny Bones.
Tiny Bones.
Tiny Bones the Pickpocket, a single black for a 1/1 legendary creature skeleton rogue. What a roguish little skelly.
Tiny.
Death Touch. When Tiny Bones deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target non-land permanent card from that player's graveyard, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. Pretty sick.
Don't let Tiny Bones touch you. He'll kill you.
Exactly. Tiny Bones.
Here he comes.
Spooky Bones.
Spooky Bones. You know my love of bones on this show. What's my favorite bones is Gutter Bones.
Oh, you love Gutter Bones.
I love the guttery buttery boy.
Yep. One of the most iconic bones.
Bones in the game of Magic. I don't know what it is about bones. I've got a thing for them. And Tiny Bones, you are... Just keep silently shaking your head, Megan. Tiny Bones, you're on my list. Tiny Bones has a card that comes with him, a legendary enchantment, single black mana. Tiny Bones joins up. When Tiny Bones joins up, enters the battlefield, any number of target players each discard a card. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, any number of target players each mill a card and lose 1 life.
I love that it works with his ability.
Yes.
Because this makes it so that there's stuff in their graveyard so that when you attack and hit them with Tiny Bones, there is stuff in their graveyard that you can cast.
I love it. Tiny Bones is great. I hope Tiny Bones is a pet or an avatar, or he's at least got to be a sticker on Arena.
Oh man, I would be very surprised if he's not something on Arena.
It just seems like something he would want to do. He's
Tiny Bones seems like a skeleton who's interested in being a sticker.
The dream of all skeletons, truly. There's also Annie-Flash, the veteran.
Yes, 3 red, green, white for a 4/5 legendary creature human rogue with Flash. When Annie-Flash, the veteran, enters the battlefield, if you cast it, return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Whenever Annie-Flash becomes tapped, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn.
Wow.
That is a sick card.
Annie-Flash is cool.
Yes. Also, that sure looks like card draw on not a blue card. We all heard my rant last week, didn't we?
I thought you were designing on this set. Just kidding. Were you in the flavor text and names?
I was just flavor text and
names. You're like writing like, ooh, I feel like this should not have card draw ability.
Yeah, my flavor text, there's no flavor text on this is because I kept being like, the flavor text should say, quote, why am I able to draw cards I'm not blue? And
they just rejected that for some reason.
You can't put that on there.
So she's got what looks to be some kind of like thunder gun.
Yeah, she has like a thunder
to her arm.
It looks like a thunder
arm.
Thunder like knives.
Yeah, like it's
knuckle knives.
It's like a tuning fork, but thunder goes between it,
and it's sharp.
That's
you
cool.
know how you have to be like really beware of musicians because you never know when their tuning fork is tuning fork, and you never know when it's stab.
I heard that she has an angel eye as well, which gives her deadeye aim.
Yes.
With her thunder arm.
That is very true. I read the first chapter of the story of Thunder Junction, which we can talk about a little bit more in depth, but Annie-Flash is one of the characters that's featured in it, and she has this eye that can like see very far away. It can see through like Oko shows up and
Oko's close.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you were going to say. It can see through Oko's clothes.
It's a real weird Superman situation where you're like, is she just always X-raying through people's clothes? No, he has like he like casts a glamour over him.
Oh, because he's a fae.
Because he's a fae to make him look like someone else, and she can see through the glamour and is like,
I see. Oh, that's handy.
It doesn't say though whether she can or cannot see through his clothes.
I think she can.
Although I will say, Oko wear no shirt, so
he doesn't leave a lot of
you don't need to see through his shirt. It's simply not there.
Vrasky, the silencer, is in the gang.
Yeah, 1 black-green for a 3/3 Gorgon assassin with death touch.
Love it.
Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, you may pay 1. If you do, return that card to the battlefield tapped under your control. It's a treasure artifact with tap. Sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color, and it loses all other card types.
This is
so
great.
It just becomes Treasy.
Yeah, she look at you, you turn into Treasure.
Yeah.
Classic Gorgon ability. This card's very good.
Very cool. And Vraska, obviously, notably, no longer a planeswalker.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She has been desparked.
So is she still recovering from her Phyrexianization?
She is not Phyrexian anymore, right? Like Phyrexia phasing out and going away meant that everyone who was corrupted, no longer corrupted, and also...
so the whole plane phased out of existence.
Yes. They swapped it with Teferi's home.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
They did a little switcheroo.
The old switcheroo.
When the Phyrexians weren't looking, they did a little switcheroo on the planes.
They did the ball and cup game, and they were like, where's your plane?
Where's your plane?
Oh, you're wrong. Sorry.
Goodbye
Phase
forever. Anyways.
Well, that's handy for her.
So she's healed, and also because Malira sacrificed herself to help heal everybody. But also I think this is the first time that we've seen Vraska.
Yes, I think so too.
Since the whole situation.
Since that whole kerfuffle of the Phyrexians.
Yeah.
Rakdos the Muscle is also in the gang because you gotta have some muscle.
Yeah.
He's 2 black, red for a legendary creature, Demon Mercenary, which mercenaries are going to be important in this set. He's a 6/5 with flying and trample. Classic Flample on Rakdos. You got to have it. Whenever you sacrifice another creature, exile cards equal to its mana value from the top of target player's library. Until your next end step, you may play those cards, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. Sacrifice another creature. Rakdos the Muscle gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. Activate only once each turn.
That seems like a busted ability. This card seems like very good.
That's gonna be tough to deal with.
Also, there's a lot of playing stuff from other people's libraries so far in this.
Yes, there is, and that's
Tiny Bones,
be a reason for
Vraska, Rakdos,
touching other people's stuff.
Yeah,
it's gonna be important.
So we also have seen some other cards. That's the crew.
That's the crew. And Oko himself, we've talked, he was previewed a long time ago, but in case you need a refresher on Oko, the ringleader himself, he's 2 green blue for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. At the beginning, his is static. At the beginning of combat on your turn, Oko the ringleader becomes a copy of up to 1 target creature you control until end of turn, except he has hexproof. +1, draw 2 cards. If you've committed a crime this turn, discard a card. Otherwise, discard 2 cards. -1, you make a 3/3 elk, and -5, the ultimate for each other non-land permanent you control, and you make a token of that's a copy of it.
Nice.
So very good as well.
And Kellen, whose card we haven't seen, is also in the crew.
Oh,
we know that because we see him in the card Rakish Crew, which has a little lineup.
Oh, here he is.
Of them. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, we have
seen him.
Kellen
the Kid. This card is also good. Well, spoiler alert, these cards all seem good. He's green, white, blue for a legendary creature, human fairy rogue. He's a 3/3 with flying and lifelink. That's not all, folks. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may cast a permanent spell with equal or lesser mana value from your hand without paying its mana cost. If you don't, you may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield.
So in Rakish Crew, this is a card that we've seen.
This is a card.
Also,
It's a card.
I just love this art because it's them in a little lineup, and it has
cute.
the little heights, and then the far end, right? Like you have all of like the humanish sized.
Yeah.
Vraska, Oko, Kellen, Annie are all in the middle, being height, and then there's Tiny Bones on one end, who
beautiful.
Tiny, and then the Rakdos is just completely out of frame.
Yeah, Rakdos is just his
like his arm and his knee. Anyways, it's just delightful.
It gives you a nice picture of the size of everybody too, for the lineup.
Yeah,
it's kind of cute.
So Outlaws include assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, and warlocks, and they are important in this set. For example, Rakish Crew is 2 and a black for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red mercenary creature token with tap. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Whenever an outlaw you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
I love it.
Yeah.
I like it because it's the subtype of the creature, right? And it matters, and it's across 5 different kinds of creature types. I just think it's really fun to assemble a deck that's like, I'm going to be playing with a bunch of outlaws, and I'm going to make the most of this build around enchantment in the set. So I don't know. I think that's cool, and I think there'll be other ways that outlaws matter throughout the game too as more cards get revealed.
Yeah. Next up on the list of mechanics that we're going to see is committing a crime.
Yeah, so you heard us talk about this, was on Oko. We already found out what this was about once we saw Nathan Stoyer's World Championship card get revealed, but just in case you need a little refresher, you commit a crime as you cast a spell, activate an ability, or put a triggered ability on the stack that targets one or more of the following: an opponent, a spell or ability an opponent controls, a permanent opponent controls, a card in an opponent's graveyard.
So basically, you touch your opponent or their stuff.
You mess with their stuff
in any way.
Crime. You've crimed. Crime goes straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
It's very fun, and it makes sense. You're like, yes, that's a crime.
That's a crime.
You've killed my creature. That's a crime.
That's a crime. That certainly seems like it's a crime. And I can't believe it's taken Magic 30 years to point out the fact
that's a crime.
That's a crime. That killing is a crime.
I would like to say that I feel like countering a spell is definitely a crime, but it's not a crime.
Okay, it is a crime. If you target a spell an opponent controls,
right. It is a crime.
It is a crime.
Never mind.
Look.
You've committed your share of crimes.
I don't think that that's a crime, but
well, you're just going to have to elect yourself the new sheriff of Thunder Junction.
So we know Gisa is here on Thunder Junction. So
good.
Gisa the Hellraiser, 3 black for a 4/4 human warlock with ward 2 and pay 2 life.
Yikes.
Yeah. Skeletons and zombies you control get +1/+1 and have menace. And whenever you commit a crime, create 2 tapped 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature tokens. This ability triggers only once each turn.
This card's nuts.
Card is quite good.
Very good.
Oh, sorry. Committing a crime pays?
Crime pays.
Crime pays is what this set says.
Absolutely.
Crime pays.
I was ready for it to be like, oh, here's committing a crime. And then I was waiting for there to be another faction that's like doing justice.
No,
just commit your crimes.
Crime pays.
Crime and
There
Thunder
are
Junction.
factions that are like, hey, be nice. I think.
Celestia? I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out.
But I mean, this is what they said. Like, committing a crime does pay, and it does stack as well.
Yeah.
So, like, if you have geese out and you're getting all these zombies, like, no matter what, if you commit one crime in a turn, all of your crimers are going to trigger from your one crime.
All of your crimers.
Right?
Yeah. That's how, like, you know, ringleaders, like, that's how crime circles work, Maria. Is one person commits a crime in the crime circle,
all benefit.
All the crimers benefit.
This sounds great. Sign me up. So there's more crimers and ways to commit crimes in the set. But that's what's interesting to me is it's kind of like this is a build around kind of mechanic in a way. You get as many people out there committing crimes as you can possibly hope for. And you just stack them all on the battlefield and commit as many crimes as you can.
Next up, we have Spree.
Spree.
This is a type of modal spell. So, for instance, it has white for an instant, and it says Spree, choose one or more additional
costs. This is the card
costs.
Final Showdown, PS.
Yes. Sorry, I thought I said that.
That's okay.
+1 colorless. All creatures lose all abilities until end of turn. +1 colorless. One generic, sorry. Choose a creature you control. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Or 3 white, destroy all creatures.
This is extremely cool.
Yeah.
And this card is extremely good.
So to be clear, just paying white for Final Showdown does nothing.
Well, you get a storm cone, I guess.
You have cast an instant. Congratulations.
You have to pay for the other stuff for stuff to happen on this. Yeah. But you can choose each one time, but you can choose as many or as few as you want. So you can just play 1 in a white, make creatures lose all abilities. You can pay 1 in a white to choose a creature you control and gets indestructible. You can pay 1, 3 white, destroy all creatures. But probably what you want to do, at least I would think, is option 2 and 3. Choose one of your creatures to make it indestructible, destroy everything else.
Yeah. Or if they have indestructible stuff, you can
stop it.
To give stuff indestructible.
Yeah, you can
take away indestructible.
Pay the extra mana.
And these Spree cards have a little modified frame. There's a little plus sign up by the mana cost.
Yeah.
And that is just a reminder that says, hey, remember, this has Spree.
I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks cute. It's like a little hat.
For the white mana symbol?
Yeah.
It's this little Thunder Junction hat.
Exactly. It looks like a little train conductor hat.
A lot of people were like, oh, Kicker's back. And, you know, everything's Kicker, right?
Everything's Kicker.
So they're not wrong. But also, I think I like how this looks better than Kicker. It's more flexible. You can choose what you need at any given point in a way that Kicker just doesn't normally do anyway.
Yep. It's a modal spell. Fun. Everyone loves a modal spell.
This next mechanic we're going to talk about is my favorite.
Yes.
Which is Saddle.
Yes. So it goes along with another creature type or a new creature type, which is Mount.
Oh my God.
We have the Gitrog Ravenous Ride.
I also go on it.
Can you imagine being in an omen path? Like you're traveling through your little omen path and you look over and the Gitrog monster is just also traveling through the omen path with you. And you're like, that's terrifying.
I would nope right out of that
Get me off this plane.
I'm going straight on through to Theros. Thank you.
3 black green for a 6/5 legendary creature frog horror mount with trample and haste. Whenever the Gitrog Ravenous Ride deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice a creature that's saddled at this turn. If you do, draw X cards, then put up to X land cards from your hand onto the battlefield tapped, where X is the sacrificed creature's power. It has Saddle 1.
I love this card.
So Saddle is an activated ability that you activate as a sorcery, meaning during your main phase while the stack is empty, by tapping any number of untapped creatures you control other than the mount with Saddle with total power N or more, where N is the number included in the Saddle keyword.
Yeah.
So again,
this is 1 in this case.
Like vehicles and crewing, you can oversaddle.
Right.
You can oversaddle a creature. Unlike with vehicles, you cannot do it at instant speed. So it is a sorcery speed.
This is the crew phase. Remember your crew phase. Remember your saddle phase.
Well, no, you can't. Yeah, exactly. But unlike, right, like crewing notably can happen at the beginning of your combat step.
Right.
Saddling needs to happen during your main phase. It cannot happen during the beginning of combat.
It also means that you can't do this to block on your opponent's turn.
That's true. Well, it doesn't matter because he can get, like the Gitrog can block on his own also.
Well, yes. He's already a creature.
Yeah, I was going to say, unlike vehicles, also, it's already a creature.
It's already a creature. So you don't have to make it a creature, but you can't do the thing and then block and then sacrifice and get the, you know what I mean? Get the Gitrog's bonus in this case.
Look at all the scale horses.
I love this
scale
art.
horse. Like,
it's great.
Know, it's very,
A+.
It's great art. Very good
from
art.
Johan Grenier. Grenier. I don't know which one it is, but it's Love Your Frog. Big fan of this frog. I think it's very, very funny. I love the idea of riding these creatures. I remember when we were making predictions about the set, I predicted that Pain Train would be back and we'd have vehicles.
Yeah.
And maybe we still will, but it looks to us that we've been giving animals as vehicles instead.
Animals as vehicles.
Which I am happy about.
Yeah. Next up, we have Plot.
Plot!
On cards like Plan the Heist. This is 2 blue for a sorcery. Surveil 3 if you have no cards in hand, then draw 3 cards. Or you can plot for 3 and a blue. You may pay 3 and a blue and exile this card from your hand. Cast it as a sorcery on a later turn without paying its mana cost. Plot only as a sorcery.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
I remember when we were trying to think about what Plot was, and you knew and couldn't tell me.
Yes.
And I said it was like Suspend.
Yeah,
do you remember this?
Yeah.
I feel so proud. It is.
I think it's very cool, right, that you can cast it later without paying its mana cost.
Yes.
It makes stuff like double spelling on a turn easier. Which
Absolutely.
is very cool. It also means, right, like a card like this, you can plot it if you don't have anything else to do with your mana for the turn, but you have cards in hand, and then later on you're like, oh, now I'll cast it now that I have no cards in hand.
Right, exactly.
So I get that Surveil 3.
I love it. It's Suspend, but it's more flexible in that you choose when you're going to take it off as Suspend.
Yeah.
It just sits there waiting for you to do it, and then it's free. I love this mechanic. A+ for Plot for me. So those are a look at the new mechanics that are coming in. And of course, we're going to dive into all of that deeper with Judge Rob ahead of the pre-release, which, like we said, is the weekend of the 12th and 13th of April. And then we'll get into all the crazy rules and corner cases that you might come across. But that's an overview for you now. I think it all looks really good.
Which is your favorite like new mechanic or thing going on?
Saddle for sure.
Saddle is so cute.
I want to ride that frog.
Yeah, it's very cute. It's a really cute frog.
Let me ride that frog.
Ride the frog.
I want to get on the frog.
Yeah.
Please let me ride the frog. Anyway, I'll
get me on this ride.
And the frog's like, do you want to die? Because if you ride me, it's pretty advantageous.
I was going to say, I might kill you. Okay, Maria, if you better watch out. Ride this frog. This frog might murder you.
Yeah, I know. This frog, he's ready to go.
This frog is like, I get a lot of benefit for criming you.
For criming on your butt. They also showed off some other cool cards on the preview stream this morning, which is when we were recording this podcast. And one of them was at the very end of the video, and it's Jace Reawakened.
Yes, or Jaceok.
Jaceok, 1/2 Ashiok, 1/2 Jace. What's going on there?
I like, truly, what is going on there?
I think the story might say something about it, but not until like the end of the chapters.
Yeah, it hasn't, not that I have read yet.
Okay, this card is something else. Blue. Legendary Planeswalker Jace, Mythic, Loyalty 3. You can't cast a spell during your first, second, or third turns of the game. What? +1, you loot. +1, you may exile a non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your hand. If you do, it becomes plotted. Great. -6, until end of turn, whenever you cast a spell, copy it. Choose new targets if you want.
Wow. Okay.
That's very powerful.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, what if you figure out a way to cast this on your opponent's turn? Can you play it? And they're like, yeah. It says your turn. So,
yeah, during your first, second, or third. All right.
Thirdly, I don't know how many things I've said, but thirdly, you might be saying, wait a second, I thought they were only doing one Planeswalker a set from here on forward.
Yeah.
Which is true, but apparently this Jace was from, there's going to be another like epilogue set after Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Oh. Like they did with Aftermath
in March of the
Machine. But then that didn't sell very well, and everybody was like, what is this? Yeah. So they decided not to do that.
No.
And they just were like, well, put Jace in the set. So
smart.
That's how that happened.
Smart.
Yeah, but that card, very cool.
Yeah. We also have seen a terrifying beast.
Oh, I love it.
The Cactarantula. 4 green for a 6/5 creature plant spider. No, thank you.
It's horrifying.
This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a desert. So it seems like perhaps we shall be seeing deserts again.
Yes, deserts are back in this set.
It seems, very flavorful for the fact that we are on desert.
And I gotta tell you, it's handy to know that's what I'm panning when I'm panning through the desert.
Where did he come from?
Like I said, I'm inside your head. I'm always with you.
I can see for miles. There's nowhere to hide.
You can't get rid of me.
I thought that he was gone. Where did he come from?
I'll always be right here.
Reach. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. Pretty sick.
Great cactus friend.
Oh, spooky. Like, why does a tarantula also need to be a cactus? Or why does a cactus also need to be a tarantula? You're telling me that
wasn't scary enough.
This plane is so cutthroat that this cactus was like, not good enough. Give me bite.
I need to crawl.
Or the spider was like, not good enough. Bite not good enough. Give me spike.
Give me spike.
Give me spike. Or give me death.
I remember that quote.
Yeah.
Very famous. I was just taking a look at some of, I want to find the deserts because Robert Humphries was the lead design of the set, and he's known for making some very good limited sets, which makes me very excited to play this in limited.
All right.
And was like, we decided to put the deserts in the set because we thought it would be very thematic and fun, and, it just makes sense to put deserts.
Totally.
And we haven't seen deserts since Amonkhet. I wanted to call it the Lazotep Madness. That's what I thought in my head. That's
a great name for what happened there.
It's not the name of the set.
But it's a great name for what happened. We haven't seen deserts since the Lazotep Madness.
This is true. I can't remember things, but I can remember them so backwards. Unreal. Anyway, deserts are back. That'll be fun. Yeah. And also, the full art lands treatment in this set is similar to other full art land treatments we've seen with the mana symbols, but they're like elemental somehow. Like the sun is
the green one for forest. We're like in some kind of like big cactus forest.
Yeah.
And it's the negative space that is the tree. And I think like they all look great, but this forest in particular, I think is stunning. I think it's
very
really cool.
Very cool.
Specifically that it's this beautiful forest and it's not made out of it. It's the negative space.
It's the negative space.
I think it's really cool.
I love the plains, which is the clouds in the sky make up the plane symbol, which is very fun.
Like I said, they're all cool. Like this island one is also very cool. It's like a rock face that has water coming out of it and a waterfall that's cutting around the island symbol.
Beautiful.
Very cool.
And then there's a new card treatment type that they've been doing in all of these new sets. This one is called Breaking News, and it looks like a little news flyer.
Yeah.
A wanted poster that you would post
poster.
Adorable.
And then we also know that there are 40 cards from the list in here and 30 cards that are in something called the Big Score, which is standard legal, and then 10 special guest cards.
So the Big Score, this is going to be the stuff that Oko is looking for in that vault. Mm-hmm. So they're all mythics. So it's 30 mythics that are in the Big Score that you can find. Wow. And then there's like special guests that are reprints. For example, Scapeshift is being reprinted as a special guest, Prismatic Vista, Notion Thief. And those ones are reprinted in the style of Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Yeah. Which is very cool. This set seems I'm just looking at another new card. I got to read it out to you.
Okay.
Armored Armadillo. It's very cute.
Cute.
Most importantly.
Can you ride him?
No, you can't. He's just a creature armadillo. But but this is a flavor text on him. Did you write this? I always wanted to ride a slow cannonball with legs. Said by Kellen. That to me,
I genuinely don't remember.
It sounds like something you would say though.
Seems possible.
So somebody else's first thought was, I want to ride this armadillo.
Yes.
He's an 04 with Ward 1.
We want to ride
armor, him. 3 and a white armored armadillo gets plus X plus O until end of turn, where X is its toughness. So you can put this in your Build a Pony deck.
Yes. That would make me very happy.
He's just an armadillo.
Yeah. He's just an armadillo.
He's just an armadillo. Don't you think he'd be so cute?
Yeah. All right. I just want to touch on these commander decks very quickly because they also look very cool.
I know.
We have Quick Draw, which will be blue-red, which is about having multiple spells in a single turn, having some really big turns, which I assume it also involves like a lot of plotting.
Yeah, they said red blue is about doing casting multiple spells a turn, which is often its thing.
Then there's desert bloom, which is discarding lands and growing them back, which is red, green, white. There is grand larceny. Steal cards, generate mana, black, green, blue, and most wanted, red, white, black with earn treasure by Outlaws. And this looks like Olivia, right? This is Olivia.
That's Olivia for sure.
Oh, she there.
All right, I found the deserts finally. It took me that long.
That's okay.
They've got all of them. All 10 are here. And the deserts say when this desert enters the battlefield, it enters tapped. And when it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target opponent.
Gasp!
And then it taps for either one of its 2 colors.
Rude.
Yeah.
Deal 1 damage?
Yeah, and so you're committing a crime by playing a desert.
Oh, yeah, that feels right.
If you play a desert...
What? If you play desert, you commit crime.
I'm just so excited for committing crimes. Here's another preview card. Rattleback Apothecary. Also a great card name. She's wearing like snakes as like a jacket, but they're all coming off of her jacket, like with their heads out. 2 and a black, Gorgon Warlock for 3/2 uncommon death touch. Whenever you commit a crime, target creature you control gains your choice of menace or lifelink until end of turn. Ooh. So these are just like little tiny side benefits you get from doing crimes.
Remember,
in the set.
You get small benefits even from small crimes.
Remember, on Thunder Junction, crime pays, little lady.
It's good to know that because I'm about to crime you.
Wait, he wouldn't laugh like that. He'd laugh like this.
No.
I was really legitimately trying to do like a wheezy gold panner cough, but it did not come out like that. It came out like... I left my headphones right off my head. Yeah, there it is. Do you want to do the story? What do you think?
Yeah, I'll give you because it's a little bite-sized story. And we already covered some of it.
Okay, great.
Okay, so when we start out, desert, this mercenary person is waiting for, he's not, he's like part of a guard.
I'm doing the sound
of something called the Sterling Company, and they're waiting at an Omen port for a delivery. And someone comes through and hands them just like a burlap sack and is like, here's your delivery. Ooh. Get in the stagecoach. And so he gets in the stagecoach and they start to ride across the desert.
Okay.
But they get stopped by some group called the Hellspurs, which seem to like really take down their whole armored guard situation in no time flat.
Oh, okay.
It is like a matter of seconds. It's a real Con Air situation in that they have taken over 45 seconds after the plane takes off.
The Hellspurs are like,
Hellspurs are like not messing around. And there is a big, bad, spooky dragon gentleman who looks like a scorpion dragon. Look at this.
Is he wearing a hat?
No, I think that's his face, right? These are his little pinchers.
Oh, okay.
You see his face pinchers and his arm pinchers and his spooky scorpion tail, but also
missed opportunity for him to be wearing a hat. I just want to point that out.
His name is Akul.
They didn't want to make this set too overpowered for people who have hats.
Exactly,
decks.
hat decks.
Yeah.
And I think that this set will already be very good for hat decks. OP for hats. But anyways, right? Akul, who's this big, spooky scorpion dragon.
Yeah.
And just kill everybody. And then opens up the bag and is like, finally, the last key is mine. Except someone trick him and it's just coal that falls out of the bag.
Santa Claus?
So Santa got Akul because he'd been a naughty dragon boy.
Wow, Santa's coming on in.
So that's all that we know, right? Is that like Akul, he murdered everyone.
Yeah.
Big and spooky, looking for the final key of some kind, and someone is keeping it from him. Someone managed to trick it away from his grasp.
They want that vault. That's what I'm saying.
Then we meet Annie Flash, who finds all of the money that Akul left behind when he stormed that carriage. And she's like, he's looking for something else. Because she's very smart.
I mean, she has
that cool angel eye. And we know that she's been kind of hiding in this small little town because Hellspurs almost killed her nephew.
Okay.
And she's just trying to lay low and not get retributed by Hellspurs. But then Oko shows up and is like, hey, what about revenge? And she's like, I don't want revenge. I just want to be safe. And he's like, well, then I'll threaten your safety.
Yeah. He's like, I can help with that.
Exactly. Anyways, and he's like, join my outlaw gang. And she's like, I am outlaw no more. I'm nice now. And he's like, no, come be mean with me.
Are you really, though?
Exactly.
Can you ever escape?
Like I said, she has angel eye. She can see through his.
How did she get that angel eye?
I don't know. We don't know that.
She just take it out of an angel's head and put it in her own face?
Maybe back in her criminal days. Oh, maybe back in her crime days.
All right.
But now she don't crime. Now she just look after this tiny little town. Okay. She also has a horse who's very smart.
What's the horse's
bad at directions.
Name?
Fortune.
Cute.
Yes. Wait, is that true?
Did you just invent that horse's name?
No, it is Fortune.
Okay.
Anyway, she has a horse who's super smart but bad at directions, which is very cute. That's cute.
Girl, same.
And then we see Kellen briefly. So we know Ral Zarek is here also. But Ral Zarek is here because he and Niv are putting together like a plan to try and make like communication beacons on each plane. Since now people can travel through the Omen paths, Ral and Niv are like, we need to set up these like communication towers so that people can actually like communicate through planes.
Yes.
So Kellen has been traveling around and was on another plane and is looking for his dad here. And someone gave him a tip that they're like, I think that your dad is on Thunder Junction. And Kellen is like, all right, I'll go. And so he's just been working on this team, helping build this stuff. Someone almost falls off of one of these big relay towers and he fairy flies up and catches them and saves them. I'm sure that then also they fall in love, but they didn't talk about that. It was just some worker on the towers.
Gotta be moving on.
Saying, exactly. Kellen's like, I gotta keep going. Anyways, and then Ral, Zarek, and them are like, hey, we're gonna give you a new better job because now we learn that you can fly. Exactly. And they're like, you're going to go to the big town, which is Prosperity, and you're going to look after the boss. And I don't even know what that means, but get out of here.
Oh.
So that is, that's it. Kellen's like, I know Zarek can like help me find my dad. Maybe I'm here to find my dad. I'm just doing job.
And I'm all grown up now. How old is he? Do they say?
No.
Because he just looks so much older.
He does look so much older.
We've seen Kellen grow up faster than any other person in Magic.
So there's the town that they're building in, which is called Omenport, which I think is like a new burgeoning town because it has this the port arrives there.
So that's where the gas station is.
And then Prosperity is like
station.
A different, the Thunder Station. And we all we know is that there's like
bathroom.
thunder weapons, which they shoot at some point. The Hellspurs shoot some thunder weapons. Anyways, that's the story so far.
Wow. Well, my interest is piqued. This set seems extremely cool. I love a high concept set, and you don't get much higher than just doing a whole Wild West set right out of the gates.
Wild West.
Did you see this card? Holy cow.
No. Oh, holy cow.
I almost forgot to talk about this card, fam. 2 and a white, Ox Angel, 2/2. Flash flying. When Holy Call enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and scry 1.
So cute.
It's so cute.
Oh.
Whenever your opponent casts it, you have to be like, oh, holy cow. Those are the rules.
And it has flash because it's like out of
holy cow.
Great.
And now that's a crime. If you don't say holy cow when this comes on the battlefield, you've committed a crime.
That's a crime.
Well, you whippersnappers, that's the end of this episode of Good Luck High Five. Don't look at my teeth too close. There's only one of them, and it's green and mean.
Gross. Everyone, it's been really nice spending this time with you. Perhaps in my case for the last time, seeing as I must go crime now. And I assume I'll be on the run on Thunder Junction without going to screw after this.
Well, I'm gotta say, I do have a good friend whose name is Old Timey Newscaster. Have you heard of him? I've heard he's on Thunder Junction.
Wow, I bet we haven't heard from Old Timey Newscaster in a long time.
I have a feeling he's going to come on.
All right, I feel like maybe he is there somewhere. And I do feel like there were people who wanted to crime Old Timey Newscaster back in the day. So this is checking out. This is really lining up.
We'll be back next week with more previews as they get underway here for Thunder Junction. Very excited for this set and for the pre-release coming up. Thank you, everybody who helps make our show and this voice happen over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Thanks to Card Kingdom.
Yes. Thank you once again to Kimberly, Ben, and Maria. Please stop saying everybody.
I only did it one time this whole show.
Know,
Can you believe
impressive.
it? At least that's what I think.
I think so too.
Anyone can call me out in the comments if it was more than that. Judge Rob episode coming up after this. Go check out Commander Arcade. We've got a hot new episodes right off the presses from you earlier this week. If you haven't, youtube.com/@GLHF Commander is the place to go for that. A very fun episode. I draw a Star Trek bridge token, which is very cute, and you should really see it. For all of our producers, we're going to hang around for a little bit and do a longer episode for you because that's just how we do.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep those tumbles weeding. Wait. Keep those tumbleweeds rolling.
Keep those tumbles weeding.
Keep those tumbles weeding.